Now, you ain't no dime yourself. The dude or the chicks, right? You ain't no looker. What make you thinking this 10 piece is online looking checking for you? Like
but did you see the episode where the girl thought Bow Wow was trying to get at her?
That's so stupid.
And it was so like the person that was supposed to be Bow Wow was sending her money and sending her like, a couple $1,000, $5,000, $6,000 at a time.
Now, I get catfish for that. Yeah, look, somebody can catfish.
They get to the girl's house that's supposed to be Bow Wow. It's some little manly little chick. And it was just unbelievable. I can't believe
no. She wasn't trying to be Bow Wow. No. She was saying she was somebody else, some type of. She was here in Atlanta. That was here.
No. This wasn't in Atlanta because this girl thought she was being, that Bow Wow was trying to get at her. She thought it was Bow Wow,
dude,
and she was like a 3. And I've seen the Bow Wow mess with.
Exactly.
And they ain't no 3.
You can't be getting catfish that way. You can't be like, I'm on top of things now. No one in my town wants me, but this fine ass internet broad loves me to death.
Then I'm watching one day. I see the guy gets to the girl's house, and come to find out this girl got like a fake ass, like a glass ass. God. And he asked her if she could take it out, and she was like, "Yeah."
Dude, I'm telling you right now.
It out for him.
Like these dudes be trying not to be total buttholes when this happens because they on TV. Not your boy. I'm going all the way in, cuz. I'm going all the way in. There's no way that happens to me, and I don't show my black butt, cuz I'm going all the way in. Like last night, that chick was like 225 all day long, dude. My man pulls up and she walks out. She was like, "I know, I'm not a blonde haired, blue eyed Barbie." I was like, "You think, Captain Obvious?"
Hey,
the dude was busted too.
Huh?
The dude was busted too. So I'm like, what made you think that the chick you was talking about? First of all, what is she doing on the internet? And then 2, why is she looking for you? If she looked that, why do you think she wants you?
People are looking for love. They are looking for happiness. What did you just say? It's a commodity.
Yeah.
Like, people are desperate.
I'm good,
and people are looking.
Good.
It was this one dude on the first season, right? He thought that he was talking to a chick that used to be a guy. So he's thinking he's talking to a chick that got a dingle.
That black dude.
Yeah. So he get over there and he realized it's a real woman, right. And now he's disappointed.
Right, he was.
He's disappointed because the chick ain't got a. I was like, oh my God,
I was like, what is this? And then my man was like, my man was like, so are you homosexual? He was like, I don't know. What do you mean? Like, that's not a question that you don't not know. Like, dude. Like, you can't be wavering on that question. Like, as soon as you like, Mike, are you homosexual? No, immediately. Right? It's like quickly. Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, crazy. Like, so you mean to tell me you really don't have nothing down there? Like, for real?
Yeah, dude. That show is so uncomfortable to me, man. It's just so bad, man. But I can't not watch it. Like, every time I see it on, I'm like, yep, it's time to be uncomfortable now. Somebody's about to get catfished to death. Anyway, you're listening to the Sports Kings podcast, Spreaker.com. It's been a slow sports day, man. So we just, we just shooting the breeze, man. We got about 10 minutes before we get up out of here for tonight's episode. But before I do, I want to talk about this Richard Deitsch piece on SportsIllustrated.com. It's called An In-Depth Look at ESPN Audio and the Future of Sports Talk Radio. And he's talking to Trog Keller, who oversees the ESPN Audio division. And it struck a chord with me just hearing how they construct or the expectations of the shows that they have. Like, he asked him the question about Mike and Mike in the Morning, and about, most morning shows are kind of rambunctious. They're kind of, wild. They kind of wild out a little bit, but not that show. And the answer that Mr. Keller gave was that he wants that show to be able. He wants a mom driving her kids to school to be able to listen to Mike and Mike in the morning. And while maybe because I've heard that before, and I've always thought it's bullcrap. Like, this is sports talk radio. This is sports talk. Like, if your kids want to listen to it, you want your kids to listen to it, that's fine. But it's not directed at them. It's not aimed at them. It's like a bunch of other things that they're just not for your kids. You may let your kids look at, I don't know, the first 48, but really, before the show come on, they give you a disclaimer. Like, you probably don't want your mind is watching this show because they'll be talking about murder. They're going to be talking about drugs. People will be going to jail. They're going to have to bleep out a bunch of words. So it may not be for them, but if you choose to let your kid listen to it, the first 48 people ain't going to cry. And that's what I feel about sports talk. It's like, it's not for everybody. And when you do that, you get a watered down product, just like what Mike and Mike in the morning is. To me, it's a watered down, it's a fluff job for ESPN. And then he asked him about that as well. Like, it's almost like it's like a billboard for ESPN for the overall company. And I couldn't agree more. It's just some of the wacky, like in local markets, they lose. Mike and Mike loses in every local market that they're in. That there's another sports talk show or a sports talk morning show that's been established there, and they lose big, not even a little bit. They lose big, like triple the ratings, which just got me to thinking, man. Like, hearing him talk about like Colin and some of the stuff that Colin might say. Like, Colin don't really move me as no super, controversial dude. Like, why? Because you think every time a white dude says something about black and white relations, that's like, oh, taboo, controversy. Nah, he still worked for ESPN too, and he played it safe. That whole situation is all about that. I always harken back to the Stephen A. Smith thing when the Ray Rice thing went down, and how that dude got suspended. And not only did he get suspended, he was forced, and no one can tell me anything different, forced to say that he had made the biggest mistake of his entire career by telling a story about conversations that he has with his aunt and his mom. That's your biggest mistake, cuz? Yeah. Like, I know exactly where the borders are for me in this business, to the point where, like, had it not been for this situation, I was pretty comfortable not doing this anymore. Just because I don't feel like there's a place for me. This.
Well, look, I get it, and nobody gets it more than you. And it's one of those things where you look around and you look at the landscape of things, and you kind of you kind of see that either I'm going to have to fit into this certain kind of mold, or there might not be a place for me. You know what I'm saying? Or I might have to be behind the scenes where, my opinion won't be heard. For me, I mean, these past going on 5 months now since I lost my job. Like, dude,
it's okay. You can say it. I've been okay. Fired.
I've been okay, just not even worried about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and you talk, I've been cool. But again, this is an avenue where we don't really have to worry about the constraints or the restraints being, placed on us, that we have a certain opinion about something. So God bless the Spreaker guy.
I mean, it was just one of those things where I'm reading this article, and they bring up the topic of race, and how they'd rather stay away from that. It's like, how you got 90% white dudes. Like, let's take the NBA for example. You got 90% of white dudes who are either broadcasting about or writing about 80% of black dudes. Why? How is race not a factor at all times? Like, let's keep it real. And please let me clarify what I'm saying. I'm not saying that anybody is doing anything racist, but who you are dictates your perspective on things. Everyone's upbringing is different. If I'm talking to one of my white buddies about, I don't know, Trayvon Martin or the stuff that happened up in St. Louis and Ferguson. You know, there's gonna be some not necessarily differences of opinion, but it's gonna be a different perspective. Like it's not gonna hit home as deeply as it would for me. Like my guy Alec Campbell, he texted me one day and was like, I really want to talk to you about this when all the stuff was going on in Ferguson. And my only honest answer to him was like, dude, I don't even know what to say. I was so, like, I had never been that confused about anything in my life, I don't believe. It was just one of those things that my mind could not process it at that time. But I appreciated him, and eventually we did have a conversation about it. We had a conversation about that and everything that was going on around it, and how a lot of the silliness that was happening was a lot of stuff that I felt was silly that was happening around it was all for naught, and it ended up, you know, coming to fruition that it was, you know, some of the foolishness was all for naught. But whatever. My point being that him being him and him being where he's from and being raised where his perspective is going to be different than mine. So as my friend, he came to me and asked me what my perspective was. That doesn't happen in this business. People take their own perspectives and they run with it. No one's coming to Rob or myself saying, you know, how do you relate to this person? Let me ask you about what might have been going through this kid's mind when he stood up in the cafeteria and yelled out something vulgar. No one's asking that. All they're going to say is he's an idiot. That's like the default for everything. Every time somebody does something childish, he's an idiot. And a lot of times it ends up being some young black dude. Let's keep it real. And I think that's such a cop-out that the first thing we holler out is, he's an idiot. Okay, now what? Now what? You still don't have any more of an understanding that you had at the beginning when he said it. Now you just put him in this category of being somebody stupid. So now going back to the first hour, what we talked about, now it's impossible for you to believe that he's smart. You've already called him an idiot so many times. It's impossible when people who know him to be smart and have sat down with him and realized his intelligence, when they say it, you still don't want to believe it. Therein lies the problem, ladies and gentlemen. You talk yourself out of being an intellect yourself because you've categorized somebody based on one or two moments in their life. I don't know. Maybe it's fair to some people. Maybe it's not fair to some people. To me, fair is something with carnival rides and cotton candy. I don't know what fair is, but what I do know is that, you know, certain things need to be fleshed out. It's only intelligent to do that kind of stuff. Now we got about 2 more minutes left in this in tonight's podcast, and I know I've kind of been on a little bit of a soapbox as far as this kind of stuff goes, but you know I'm very impassioned about, you know, this thing that we do. Like I said yesterday, somebody might be listening to it and like, this dude is terrible. But the difference in me and a lot of people that are terrible, I work hard at being terrible.
Well, the other thing is, you know, if we were like Pete and Brad, oh man, we'd be on billboards, we'd be all over the trade magazines, we'd be everywhere. They'd be like, Pete and Brad are freaking awesome.
I just got that, Pete and Brad.
We're robbing Mike from Decatur.
and two, you know, Pete and Brad wouldn't have my take on things. Pete and Brad again would have their own take on things. Would have a certain, you know, that certain a lot of times what I call that cookie cutter approach to the way you know they formulate opinions. You know, that's why when we do this with about a minute to go here, I try my best to only get the headlines from other people who do this gig. I don't care about your opinion or whatever, you know, unless it's something that I totally disagree with, then I'm gonna talk about it. But I don't really want people to form my opinion on something. You know, I want to hear what's going on, read the details, form my own opinion. Then I'll listen to anybody. Then I don't care. At that point, I'll listen to anybody because now I have my own thoughts on it. So. About 30 seconds here, 30 seconds left to go. I think it's been a okay show, you know, like I say, light sports day, so we had a lot of time to mess around with other stuff. Once again, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the Sports Kings podcast. We're on Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker with an Spreaker. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Sports Kings Live. You can email us at sportskings hel@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys